We had a very old system previously called Rescue. The theatre staff used to have to fill in paper forms that track the patient's journey through theatres, so handwriting forms. And then we had somebody that used to have to enter that data into a very old system retrospectively. The data wasn't very accurate. Obviously it was standalone, didn't link into any of the other TRIS systems. We'd have clinical incidents with data because patients would be listed for operation, and because we relied on somebody inputting that, sometimes the unit numbers would be wrong. So we had a whole heap of issues with the old system. Obviously mainly clinical, paper-based, and just not being able to get any data out that was accurate. So we'd pull up our information reports and we'd say, your utilisation for this theatre was 50%, and we know that it wasn't, but the data was just not very useful for the trust at all. So we got the green light from the trust, we got to go and procure a new system, and so we went off with our IT colleagues looking at other theatre systems. We went to other trusts to review what they'd got, and obviously selected Ormis. We then did the business case that supported everything that we needed to implement the system. And we were adamant that we were going to get the best out of it, so we wanted to go touch screen, really paper friendly, easy system, so that everybody could use it in their day-to-day operations. We then obviously secured the money so that we could have touch screens, and started the project really from a theatre point of view in 6 months. So we went from having access to this system, configuring it for our use, training all the staff, purchasing their touchscreen cards, which we got from Parity Medical, and implemented it and going live on the 2nd of February. As part of the project then we decided that we wanted touchscreens. So we went out to have a look at what's on the market, and we started getting companies engaged. Obviously Parity Medical came and gave us a demonstration of the touchscreen card. And we got lots of different people to come and evaluate it, and obviously Parity won hands down. But first we thought that we wanted to have them fixed in every anaesthetic room in every theatre, but then when you brought the carts in and we could see how light, manoeuvrable they were, we decided to go with the carts. And actually it's much easier from a servicing point of view, because if a cart goes down we can wheel it out, so we've got a backup spare one that we can replace. Not that we've had to experience that, because they have been really reliable. We haven't had any bother with them, and the batteries are fantastic, they get charged up every night, so we haven't had any issues with the carts. It's just really free and easy, we can move them to where we want, and each theatre is different, has a different setup. Some people might like it on the right hand side and left hand side, and the cart just enables us to put them wherever people want to have them. They also obviously move up and down, so some people at times can pull a chair to them and lower them down and use the keyboard, and other times when we want them by the patient we can high them up and use the touch screens. So following that trial, everybody was persuaded us. It also saved us money because we didn't get to get Skanska and manage our PFI to fit them, and it just makes it more user friendly for us. So we went with the mobile cards, and yeah, we're really pleased with them. So we went live and we didn't have any major issues. Everybody that was listed for a procedure that day came in, went through the theatres, all the staff were able to then track their journey on the touch cards. And it's also really successful.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with Ormis and the carts that we've got. It makes it much easier having the carts and having them to be able to move around the theatres, especially when there's parts of theatre sometimes that can be quite difficult to get around the theatres, especially in the older theatres. We're quite lucky in these new ones, so having those touch screens to be able to move around is good. We have agency staff as well, so in recovery we can move the screens around, so those screens from Parity Medical are really great. So this is the cart that I was talking about earlier. It was provided by Parity Medical, and all the staff really like using it. As I said, you can move it around, it's touch screen, it's easily wipeable, and it also, we can use it while sitting down. Sometimes we can be sitting down for prolonged periods.
Well, we've had the carts now for, I think, 18 months, and so far we haven't really experienced any problems of note. They're very reliable. They work on Wi-Fi, and so far that's worked perfectly. We haven't had any incidents of them dropping connection or anything like that. The fact that they're on wheels does mean that if there is a little problem, they can be brought out to me in my office down the corridor to fix, rather than us having to get IT from the opposite end of the hospital, which reduces the amount of downtime. So the cart can just be wheeled back in and used straight away. By being on wheels, it means that they can be moved around the theatre on either side of the bed, so it suits where the surgeon is, where the staff are. And the touchscreen means that it's much easier for the staff to input the information while they're carrying out the operation, rather than having to do it retrospectively from a piece of paper onto a computer elsewhere.
The clarity and the convenience of using the touchscreen is good because it can give me confidence outside of the theatre area that the data that's been put into the system is accurate. For example, I need to upload that data nationally for best practice tariffs, and that data needs to be as accurate as I can possibly get it. And the convenience of the touchscreen means that I can have confidence in the data that I'm uploading. Also, outside of the department, I can also make sure that each of the theatres, because of the colour coding system that's used, both on the perioperative screen and within the patient screen, I can make sure that each theatre is written as it should be, we're on time and on schedule for that theatre to start and finish on time. From a trauma perspective, we cannot predict acute patients when they're going to come to the hospital and what our theatre utilisation need will be in advance. So again, I can look at the theatres, the appropriate theatres. I can see if they're a bit of ahead of schedule, therefore I can add cases to that list in order not only to make sure that from a financial point of view we're utilising our theatres correctly, but also, and I think more importantly, from a patient experience perspective, because if I can get their procedure done quicker than we would normally anticipate, that's only going to make a better experience for the patient in the long term. So they're the main features for me that I feel has enhanced my role. The benefits of the cart as it is, not only can we move it around from theatre to theatre or anaesthetic room to theatre, really the benefits for me is the little time that you need to spend with it. Our time as nurses need to be spent doing patient care. The convenience of the touch screen means that it takes 2 seconds to do a job that probably used to take us 3 or 4 minutes. That extra time is spent with our patients, and that's where the clinical need and requirement is.
Worked out it was about 60 hours a month of staff's time not filling in form because they literally just touch the screen during the patient's journey. The list is obviously configured and the staff then populate the information through the patient's journey, but now at the other end we're able to get accurate data that's improved our theatre utilisation from the day we started to go live. I think it was about 20% increase in theatre utilisation because we were actually capturing what we were doing. And we've got that information now on our internet, so it's available, it's live, people can see what happened yesterday, it gets updated at midnight every night. So the data's there, out there, people can see it, so it's real time and live, much more user-friendly.
Well, the cards can be used connected to the mains, or they can be used with batteries. The system we've got at the moment is, at the end of each day, we plug the cart into the wall, and that charges while it's connected. And then during the day, it can be pulled away from the wall and just uses battery power. So far, we haven't had an instance where it's run out of battery during the day, but they are hot swappable. It will display on the screen to say that one battery is low, and that gives us a warning. We can take that one out and replace it while still using the cart itself. We do get 24/7 out of it. We have got an emergency theatre which runs 24/7. And like I say, so far we haven't had any problems with the battery putting out.
Everybody loves the system. It's worked really, really well, and I'm proud of the team that delivered it. And we're just going to keep working to our goal of getting rid of paper altogether and using technology in our workplace. We are now into our next phase. We've installed the system and we've got the touch screens going, and we want to now make our operation notes so that they're paperless. We want to start scanning in equipment, so we're going to roll it out from not just the patient's journey of time through theatre, but capturing everything else electronically along the way. So we want to move away, obviously, from paper-based. We want to go to electronic, and we want touch screens in everywhere that people do, just to make life so much easier.
We're all happy. The training seemed to go really well. It came in effectively quite quickly. Really pleased with it. And we've had some great support from Parity Medical, not that we've needed it, because the computers, as I said, the cards have been great, but we know they've been there if we've needed them. So really pleased.
The Parity Medical card has improved the service that we can provide for several reasons. One, we know there's a battery backup if we can't plug the system in. Two, it's completely movable, so we can move it to wherever we need it to be. And three, the convenience of the touch screen in comparison to our old system, where there could be a lot of lengthy free typing and even a paper trail. Those minutes that we were spending writing and you doing documentation, we're now spending with a patient, because all we need is a quick flick of the screen and the job's then done.
We went with the mobile cards, and yeah, we're really pleased with them. They're easy to wipe down, and like I said, the reliability is fantastic.
That was at Parity Medical.